Yo, what's going on, everybody? I just got back from watching Sinners, and it's safe to say this is the movie of the year. Easy, no debate about it. So, Sinners is obviously directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld in a vampire horror film that is set in 1930s America in Mississippi. And all I'm going to say is this is a horror movie, but also a musical, and a unbelievable musical at that.
Music so true. It can conjure spirits from the past and the future.
Of course, the stellar cast of Michael B. Jordan, Jack O'Connell, Haley Steinfeld, so many incredible actors and actresses in this film. And I gotta say, when it comes to a horror movie standpoint, this film does take a little bit of an element of the horror movie, but not a full level horror film, in my opinion. It takes a little while for it to actually become that genre of horror. I mean, for me, the first maybe 30 minutes or so definitely are this sort of musical, classical blues music as well. And I gotta say, the music in this film really steals the show for me. There's one scene with Jack O'Connell, who's obviously playing this main vampire, who basically he has this kind of ensemble of all these other vampires around him while he's kind of Irish dancing in the middle of them all while singing this Irish traditional music. And as an Irish person, the music from an Irish point of view, specifically from Jack O'Connell, is absolutely incredible. The music in this film is it's insane. It really, really is. It's a stellar, stellar soundtrack. I would not be surprised if this ends up getting Academy recognition, because realistically, this film should. With the overall story of this film as well, because it's not just your typical run-of-the-mill vampire film. It really isn't. It deals with themes of real historic events, traditional events, and specifically, it shows this story and conveys it and tells it through the use of music. I mean, for example, the basic plot is basically Michael B. Jordan plays these two twins, Smoke and Stack, who obviously open up this massive yard, like basically like an old mill, and they turn it into a juke joint, is what they call it. So basically, this whole thing is supposed to be this traditional blues music is being played in this bar for all these people to enjoy, specifically African American people who will go to this juke joint and enjoy and celebrate their traditional music and blues, and incredible music at that, by the way, and we'll just go from there. However, obviously the vampire element does come into this due to the fact that Jack O'Connell, as this main vampire, ends up, getting more members, basically just seducing people into letting him in, as the vampire traditional story goes, as he ends up killing more and more people. So then he ends up going towards this, juke joint as, supposedly they celebrate music. And Jack O'Connell's character has his own style of music as well, with this Irish traditional folk music as well, with that sort of thing. So basically, his whole thing of a vampire, he obviously wants to kill everybody, but he has to be allowed into the juke joint in order to get at everybody. So it kind of goes from there. That's the basics and run-of-the-mill plot. It's what the story in the trailer basically is shown. And I do have to say, the trailer does give a little bit away, specifically if you know one specific character who gets revealed to be a vampire in the trailer. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. But specifically, the way that's actually dealt with in the film is not that bad. I mean, you do know that that person's going to be a vampire, but you can very much see like what's coming. If you didn't see that in the trailer, when you see that character get into the position of being turned into a vampire, you can tell what's coming. So when it comes to the trailer technically spoiling it, it's not that big of a spoiler. You can kind of expect it to happen anyway. But I am fully convinced that this film will get Academy recognition. I fully believe it, because there has to be something for it. This film is absolutely stellar. It's a masterpiece of a film. It got me a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, no doubt about it. A 10 out of 10 everywhere else. It seems to be one of the most popular films right now. It was debuting with like a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes after like a week. And I gotta be honest, with Letterboxd as well, I don't think there's a single review under like 3.5, 4 stars, which is incredible, by the way. So I gotta give it to Ryan Coogler. The way he directs this story as well is absolutely incredible. Me, my girlfriend, and my little brother went to go see this, obviously on opening night, and I gotta say, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, my girlfriend literally said that it's her favorite film she's ever seen, and she watches near enough all the same films as I do. I try to basically influence her on watching more cinematic movies and stuff like that, and then she obviously went to go see Sinners. She said that it's her favorite movie of all time. And that is a statement, by the way. So all I'm going to say is, if you like classical music, you like everything to do with that, but then you have this horrific element of the vampires thrown in here, it's perfection.
Fortune.
Will somebody take me
soul can pierce the veil between life and death.
Secondly, of course, if there's a horror film, we got to talk about the practical effects. And all I'm saying is there's one specific effect on a specific character's neck injury in here that's really, really good. When you see the film, you'll know what I mean. But there's a specific person who obviously gets attacked on the neck, and you see this, like, basically this piece of flesh that is literally just a hole, but you see all the tissue and everything. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, for me, as someone who's obviously a massive horror fan, I gotta be honest, the way the effects and all are done here is really, really good. But the one thing I did not expect from this film is the underlying message of everything. The message of this film really just has a standing point throughout everything and really just stands out. And the whole thing being that, like, people can celebrate anything through music, and it is just incredible. I mean, the main character, in my opinion, is not Michael B. Jordan's character of obviously Smoke and Stack. It is actually Miles Catone's character of Sammy, who is absolutely incredible in this film. And I'm going to be completely honest, I will be very, 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 very surprised if Miles Canton does not get a Best Actor nomination for this film. My predictions for the Oscars next year, they're fairly basic. I fully believe F1 will be there, obviously because of Maverick. So when it comes to that film, but more on that film when that eventually drops. But realistically, I fully believe the way this film is done, it's a horror film that you can see get Academy recognition. You know what I mean? With the substance and stuff like that. It really does bring that sort of vibe of, yes, it's a horror film, and traditionally horror films don't really get a look at the Oscars. They really just don't. But because this film is so much more than just a typical horror film, it has so much amazing storytelling elements of this film, and I've got to be honest, I will be very, very surprised if it's not like at least any nominations there, because there has to be at least one, whether it be Ryan Coogler for the actual direction, the story with the scripting, or if it's Miles Catone with the lead actor, I would not be surprised. So overall, there has to be some sort of Oscar recognition for this film, and I will be very, very surprised if there is not, because there has to be. This film is incredible. Everything about this film is so enjoyable from start to finish. The pacing of this film as well is incredible. I'm obviously going to go back to Miles Catone as well. His voice is absolutely stellar. I'm going to be completely honest. The singing in this film is unbelievable. It's gruesome. It's graphic. It's extremely vulgar. I mean, my brother went and said when we were arriving to the theater to actually go watch this, he thought it was just going to be a Dusk Till Dawn remake almost, but it was so much more than that. And I'm so happy it wasn't just another Dusk Till Dawn, because you can kind of see the kind of similarities, the two brothers who are, on the run, technically not, obviously they're gangsters, like Dusk Till Dawn with George Clooney and Tarantino's characters. They're not, they're on the run. Then obviously you have Salma Hayek as the really attractive vampire in that film, and then you have Haley Steinfeld in this film. So the similarities are there, but this film is just so much more than that Dusk Till Dawn film, and it's just incredible. I'm in love with this film. I'm 100% going to see it again. I could have this film on repeat, honestly. I got posters from the film. The theater we went to go and see, we're handing out posters. Shout out Cineworld, or if you're American, Cinemark. Absolutely incredible. Overall, I'm so beyond happy with this film. It's incredible. If you have not gone and seen Sinners, go and see it. It is incredible. Every single element of this film is perfection, from the gore, for the story, the music, the acting, the directing, the cinematography. The acting from Jack O'Connell is so underrated as this main vampire dude. The acting of Jack O'Connell in this film is absolutely stellar. I loved it. I'm in love with this film. I really, really am. So if you haven't gone and seen Sinners, go and watch it, because I will have a spoiler review on this for 100%. So yeah, make sure to tune in for the spoiler review tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of Sinners in the comments below. What would you give it out of a 5 rating? I want to hear all your thoughts about Sinners in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll check you in the next one. And of course, stay safe and peace.